Hey there, welcome to SoulSelfSpace. I'm Avril, and today is the autumn equinox. Equi meaning equal, nox meaning night. This is when the length of the night is equal to the length of the day. Typically, if you live in the northern hemisphere, from March to September, you're going to have longer days than you do nights. From September to March, you have longer nights than you do days. If you live in the southern hemisphere, it's the opposite. And if you live somewhere along the equator, then the nights and the days are a little closer to each other. However, it really is still only on the spring equinox and the autumn equinox when the two are exactly equal. Why is that important? Think balance, think integration. We always seem to want to balance masculine and feminine, light and dark, day and night within ourselves, right? These are the different aspects of duality that we're always trying to balance, that we're always trying to integrate, and sometimes it goes even beyond duality. Because think about all the psych tests, all the personality tests that we fill out. These tests try to place us into one compartment or another, giving us one personality type, one source of motivation, for example. And in so doing, they try to put us in these little compartments, into these little boxes. And the truth is, as human beings, we are never just one thing. It's true that we have tendencies. It's true that we have behavioral tendencies, behavioral preferences. We tend to think and act and behave in certain ways, following certain patterns more than others. But if you take a look at the different situations that you find yourself in, the different roles that you play in your life, you don't act only one way. You're different. If you're with your colleagues, you're different when you're with your friends. You're different when you are maybe playing video games on your own. We are a combination of facets. We are pretty much everything. Also think about all the different emotions that you have. Being human means feeling all the different emotions, means going through the different aspects of life, and means having all the different human experiences. So we're never only one thing. We're always trying to balance out different aspects of ourselves. We're always trying to integrate different roles, different tendencies, different patterns within ourselves. This is the perfect time to do it, especially on special days like this, when there is a turnover from one phase to another in the cycle of the year. I like to ask the cards, what are the energies that are coming in for me at this time? What are the influences that I should be expecting? Are there any things that I should be especially aware of? And are there any things that I'm blocking myself from seeing? So having additional information and insight about things like this really helps me make the best decisions in this coming time and really helps give me some direction and some clarity about the best way to handle things. This begins a period of questioning for us. Consider that for this one day, right, the night and the day are equal. And this is a turning point because starting tomorrow, the night is going to begin being longer than the day, at least until March. When it's nighttime, think of the darkness, think of the quiet, think of the solitude, think of sleep, think of turning within, introspecting, and internalizing. And this is what the Five of Cups talks about. The Five of Cups here asks us to turn within, to see what are the aspects of ourselves that we're not bringing forth, that we're not sharing with the rest of the world. What is our shadow self? What have we been hiding? What are we refusing to acknowledge? What is it that we are trying to minimize, keep quiet, to silence within ourselves? What is it that you are not allowing yourself to say to anyone, not even to yourself? And part of that is because of the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords speaks to me about intensity. And this tends to come along with overwhelm, sometimes with anxiety, but most of the time with fatigue, with exhaustion, just from the overexertion of overanalyzing, of overthinking. It may seem like thinking is something that is going to help us, but really, we tend to do it as a fail-safe. We tend to do it as a way of preventing, right? Anything that we think we might be unexpecting, anything that we feel that we might be unprepared for. So we run ourselves through all this internalization and all this overthinking, overanalyzing, overplanning, and over-preparing. It's not enough to have a plan B, plan C, but we've gone all the way down to having a plan Z5, for example. And although introspection is important, introspection goes beyond overthinking, right? And see, the thing is, introspection is simply more than thinking. Yes, you are thinking, you are experiencing, you are feeling your way through life as well. Remember that you are more than just a mind. You are a mind, you have emotions and feelings, you have a body that experiences the world and feels things, both in an emotional way and in a kinesthetic way as well. You are also energy, and your energy is affected by how much you are thinking and by what you allow yourself to feel. So, in this period of introspection, it is a period of taking time to slow down, to enjoy the quiet, and allow yourself to sit with yourself. So that's what's coming up for us in the next few months, right? As the nights become longer than the days. But for today, the cards are just giving us a heads up that, hey, this is what is coming, and there is that tendency to be overthinking it. So slow down today and allow yourself to still enjoy that balance, that tug, pull, and push between the two that allow us to be in the light and that allow us to be in the night as well. And here's the crazy thing. This is saying that for a lot of us, we are not introspecting enough. Introspection in this case, remember, is the feeling as well. It's experiencing, because we are overthinking and overanalyzing things. And at the same time, this is the Two of Swords. And at the same time as we are overthinking, we're also hiding a lot from ourselves. So we are overthinking and overanalyzing the things that we allow ourselves to see. But there is a lot that we are hiding from ourselves because it feels too challenging at this moment to see it, to feel it, to experience it. As we move into this week, I see that there is going to be quite a lot of movement for a lot of us, starting out with the Six of Wands. So this is a card that talks about finally being seen, finally being heard, allowing ourselves to speak up, to show ourselves to the world, to our friends, to our family, to our colleagues, allowing ourselves to have that breath of freedom, to really be who we are and allow ourselves to be seen and to be validated by other people. In general, validation is best when it comes from ourselves. However, there is also that aspect of being so scared of what other people are going to think, other people's judgment, that we tend to hide ourselves from other people. So it is in the courage of allowing ourselves to be seen that this validation is going to be coming forth. Right beside that, though, there is a Ten of Wands. So this is why I was saying there's a lot of movement that's coming in. It seems to be that as you are recognized by others, as people see what you are capable of, right? That's coming in here from the Six of Wands. In addition to that, and actually because of that, now you have the Ten of Wands coming in. And it's because of that recognition, because of that validation, that now we're going to be asked to make some changes. There's some movement coming in, and this could be movement in terms of change of career, change of job. This could also be change of living accommodations. For many of us, though, I'm getting the feeling that this is a change of how we see ourselves and our position in our communities and in our workspaces. So it's not necessarily that we're going to be asked to leave, but it is us changing the way we see ourselves, changing our own self-perceptions, which will then change the way others perceive us as well. This is going to be a period of growth. So as we go through that introspection, as we go through that feeling, It's in feeling and in experiencing our lives and our own situations that we actually move past the overwhelm. Remember that overwhelm comes from the mind, and that's why all that bit of the overthinking, the overanalyzing, that came from the Five of Swords. The thing is, as we go into overanalysis, right, there is analysis paralysis. We think too much, we get overwhelmed, we start to hide things from ourselves, and because of that, we close up, we close in. And this is the opposite of expansion, right? In expansion, that's when growth happens. And actually, what's happening here is think of like a flower bud that contracts and pulls in. It pulls in together as a bud, and then it blossoms and it blooms. And in the blossoming, because of that introspection time, now we're going to be allowing ourselves to be seen. Others are going to see us, recognize what we are capable of, realize what we are capable of, and validate our abilities. And because of that, we're going to start feeling a little more confident. We're going to start feeling a little more ready to take on more things and just feel a little more comfortable within ourselves. We're going to be changing our perception of how we see ourselves. And this in turn will change our own self-esteem, leading us to have the Four of Pentacles. And the Four of Pentacles starts talking about owning our resources, owning our abilities, owning what we have within ourselves and what we like most about ourselves. So it's in turning in, getting to know ourselves. And this week, from what I can see here, this equinox is really going to be bringing us greater self-esteem, greater confidence. Other people start to recognize us. We'll start to recognize these things within ourselves. And that's just in general going to be helping us to feel a lot more comfortable with ourselves. And in terms of moving forward in the coming months, as the wheel of the year, as we call it, right? The cycle, the natural cycle of the year, draws to a close during winter. It's going to be a lot of comfort and coziness and feeling more at home with ourselves. So one thing about all that self-esteem, all about that comfort and authenticity with the self that's going to be coming in from the Four of Pentacles is there's a lot of self-love, a lot of liking this self that we have created, this self that you have built, that you have grown over time, that has grown out of your life experiences. A lot of this self-love and self-compassion is going to be coming in, as we see here with the Sun card. The Sun card is, think of it as radiating warmth, radiating light. And this warmth and light is directed to yourself. This balance that's coming about today, and the effects of which we're going to be feeling the rest of the week. This is a special warmth, a special feeling of love, of care that we give to ourselves. And it really is coming from that increased and enhanced self-esteem, which is going to lead to greater self-confidence as well. So here's a little bit of a message that we are getting right now. Take the time to really, as we've seen with all the prior cards, right? Get to know yourself. Spend that time and evaluate how this year has been and this self that has grown from your experiences over this year. As you're doing that, take the time to allow yourself to be liked by yourself. Generally, we are our own harshest critics, right? We have so many thoughts and opinions and judgments. Everything that we've done is not enough or is wrong or could have been done better. Maybe it can. However, think of how far you have come over this year and take the time to really give yourself a pat on the back, to acknowledge all the things that you have accomplished this year. Because this is a time wherein, as the season starts to cool, right? As we start to turn into the darker months, when it really is more about sleep and quieting down and hibernation. This is a time wherein we're going to have to build ourselves up, allow our own internal sun to radiate outwards to others. Definitely, they will see that if we allow it to radiate outwards and warm ourselves. Start by liking yourself. When you like yourself, you can start to grow into loving yourself. When you love yourself, that is when others perceive that self-love within you. And that self-love now allows others to start to gravitate towards you. In loving ourselves, we give others permission to love us because we are telling them that we are worthy, we are deserving, and we have achieved all the self-growth that we are ready to share this with the rest of the world. Another message coming in here. This is the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is joy. It is excitement. It is exuberance. This is learning to be excited about something new. And this is not usually a card that we see at this time of the year. Because again, of the fact that we're moving into the winter months, right? So the days are getting shorter. It's about hibernation. It's about turning within. It's about sleep and rest and recovery. However, the Page of Wands here is telling us that this is a good time to look for a new passion, to look for a new hobby. Find something that is going to fuel you, to motivate you, to get up out of bed in the dark, right? To get up out of bed in these days when things seem to be slowing down. This is a time that would greatly benefit you if you could find a little more motivation to go and do something, to start something new. And how do you do that? You find a source of passion. Find something you're passionate about, something that you're so excited about that it will fuel you to get out of bed and to start your day. Because you're so excited to do this hobby, this activity, whatever it is, find the thing. And if you don't know how to find the thing, try different things. Look at different groups on Facebook, for example, or just think back to all the different activities that you've probably said, oh, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. Someday I'm going to do that. Think back to those things. Make a list, try them out. But there's something here that's going to be exciting you. Something here that's going to be inspiring you and motivating you to be a little more active in the coming months. Now is a good time to be finding that. With all of these things though, now we have the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords talks to us about regrets. Because we're going to be introspecting, getting to know ourselves, and because of that, really loving ourselves, right? So remember, we have the Four of Pentacles coming up. We're going to be validated and seen by other people. We're going to be liking ourselves, loving ourselves, caring for ourselves, and warming ourselves. As we do that, we're also going to be reminded of all the things that we didn't do, of all the time that we may think that we have wasted, all the time that has passed, that we have let slip away, the things we didn't do, the people that we didn't meet, maybe. And these are regrets. So the cards are also giving us a little message about let the regrets go. The thing about regrets is they really don't help us. They bog us down, they become baggage, they slow us down, and they use up a lot of our mental and emotional energy. Wishing that I had done something different, wishing that I had known better back then. But the truth is, we didn't know better because I'm sure you did the best that you could at that moment in time. And we did the best with what we knew how and with what we had and what we were able to do at the time. We always do. And so because of this, there really is no way that we can go back and change that now. So let go of those regrets. Accept that the past was what happened. The past was the past. But bring into mind all that you have become now and allow yourself to be excited about this moment, this turning point. Remember, the night is just as long as the day. And as we move into the darker months, you are now becoming your own light. Allow that sun within you, allow that radiant light to radiate outwards and allow the rest of the world to see that. So, some messages that have come in for us starting today, the autumn equinox, and into the rest of this week. Some journaling prompts that you might want to consider are: what am I hiding from myself? What am I overthinking and overanalyzing? What have I not allowed myself to see and to like about myself? And what can I now allow myself to start enjoying, liking, and loving about myself? Also, one other one: what can I start to let go at this period? Because this is a time, remember, of letting go of resentments, of turning within and introspecting, getting to know the self, starting to love the self, allowing others to see how much we love and accept ourselves, and then allowing that own self-love to radiate outwards to the rest of the world. Letting the rest of the world know that I'm worthy and I'm ready to be here today. I'll see you in the next video.